Hello and welcome to the Alumni House podcast. My name is Matt
I'm the Quacker.
Quacker. This is the penultimate weekend of the regular season in college football, but it's really the last full Saturday because obviously some of the games are a little bit more spread out on Thanksgiving weekend. But there are quite a few conference races that we're going to know a lot more about after today, which is rare this time of year. But it's really fun. So we're gonna do an abbreviated because obviously this is Saturday morning, and let me move all my equipment out of the view there, because this is Saturday morning. We're gonna do an abbreviated episode. But before we jump into the games, Quacker, go ahead and hit us with the news and notes.
All right. So details about James Franklin's contract have been released. He has a 5-year deal worth $41.75 million plus incentives and bonuses. And those bonuses also include bonuses for coaches and support staff and stuff like that as well. And something that I have been saying was stupid the whole time. The NCAA now won't allow athletes to bet on pro sports. When they had made that decision to allow them to, I thought that was a stupid, slippery slope, and they have reversed course. This reversal came after a string of high-profile gambling cases have raised concerns over the integrity of competition in college and pro sports. Louisville quarterback Miller Moss is expected to miss the game, against SMU because of an injury. And it looks like the Cards will turn to freshman QB Deuce Adams. I did see where Moss will dress and be available in emergency quarterback situations. And I saw Pitt's running back Desmond Reed will be sidelined today against Georgia Tech. And then, Matt, this is really cool. So my alma mater, high school alma mater, was playing last night for the state championship again, and they won convincingly 42-0. But I found that afterwards, a senior offensive lineman from my high school is headed to West Point in the fall to play football for the Black Knights.
Oh,
So
cool.
go ahead and give a congratulations to Arrakis Rock Baskins Jr. on his appointment to West Point. And congratulations on winning your second consecutive state championship.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very cool. Very cool. And that makes 2 years in a row that you and I have connections to someone going to a service academy. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that down, let's go ahead and we're going to dive right in. And for this, sorry, I was looking to see. Okay. So I just want to say off the bat, we'll talk about this more on Monday. We don't even really need a dialogue about it. I just want to address the fact that the Lane Kiffin drama seems like it is literally changing by the hour, and depending on who you listen to, he is definitely going to be the LSU coach, definitely going to be the Florida coach, definitely staying at Ole Miss, definitely not at Florida. I just wanted to mention that because I feel like this particular target between these three schools and this coach is very, very unique, and it's not something I think we've seen as high profile as this. And I think everybody is waiting with bated breath to see what finally happens, which it seems like all signs point to we'll have an announcement next Saturday. So I've seen a lot of stuff about LSU finalizing offers and Florida meeting with them, and Ole Miss feeling confident. It's just nuts the way it all seems like it's panning out. Every time I open any of my social media, I am flooded with all three schools' pages talking about these different things. Early yesterday morning, all I saw was LSU is number one and Florida was completely out. But there's no source for that. I dug as deep as I could. There was no source for it anywhere at all. So, I don't know. Plus, LSU is still dealing with their their buyout drama with Kelly too, so everything is just all up in the air. So I just wanted to make mention of it because it's gonna be an interesting thing down the road. There's no real news on it, but that's kind of the thing is there's no news, but there's a lot of what seems like misinformation out there, like a lot. So
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our first game in Conference USA, and that will be Missouri State at Kennesaw State. This game is at 2 p.m. Eastern. Weird time to kick off a game. 7-3 Missouri State and 7-3 Kennesaw State, both 5-1 in conference. So this game obviously matters. Kennesaw State is the home team. It is a 6.5-point favorite. Thoughts and who you got in this one, Quacker?
Yeah, this one here, we've been talking on and off throughout the season about the Kennesaw miracle, right? The complete flip that they've had. Both these programs are relatively new to the FBS level. They're both playing just outstanding this year. Kennesaw State, I feel like I feel like they're going to win this game. I don't have like a solid footing in this one here because Missouri State's been playing really well all season too. I just feel like the momentum that Kennesaw State has had is probably going to help carry them through this one. It's just their style of play has been. I'm trying to pull up their. Their defense has been pretty solid throughout the season. The only game, non-power game, that they've lost was last week to Jacksonville State, and that was the only one where they allowed opponent to score over 28 points.
Yeah.
And they even when they lost to Wake Forest beginning of the season, they lost 10-9, and Wake Forest hasn't been bad at all. So, the defense has been their calling card this season. They have a varied offense. I think they kind of pretty close as far as run pass. So I'm taking Kennesaw State in this one. I don't feel super confident about that, but I think the home field advantage, if you can call 10,000 fans home field advantage, I think just playing at home, it gives them that little boost, and they'll come out with the win.
All right, I'm going to take Missouri State. I probably shouldn't do that because they're the underdog and they're on the road, but just to give a little variety in that. So moving now to Liberty and Louisiana Tech. This one is not the same story, okay, but it's interesting, right? So Liberty is 4-6. Louisiana Tech is 5-5. Liberty is on the road, but they're a 1.5 favorite. This one kicks off at 3 p.m. Eastern. What are your thoughts on who you got in this one?
La Tech is playing for bowl eligibility for this season. You don't want to go into the last game of the season depending on a win in that one to get bowl eligible. So they're going to come out fired up and the next week they play Missouri State. So not an easy game to go try to get bowl eligible on. This is also the last home game of the season for La Tech. So it's senior day. It's a big deal. I think this is going to be a close game. I think La Tech comes out with a close win. I think they get bowl eligible today, and I forget the coach's name. Shoot.
All right, so you're taking La Tech in this one.
I am. It's driving me crazy because I knew his name until just a minute ago. Sonny Cumbie. So it started out his career. It started out kind of not so good at La Tech, and they went to a bowl game last year because Marshall had to withdraw, and they were close regionally. And this year he's got them on the verge of bowl eligibility again. So it looks like he's kind of starting to get some momentum going forward as well. So I'll take La Tech. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take Liberty, and then we will move to the American and ECU. Excuse me, is going to UTSA. This is an interesting game. 3:30 kickoff. East Carolina is 7-3 and 5-1. UTSA is 5-5, 3-3, but have an interesting win or two on their record this year, and ECU is only a 1.5 point favorite. So thoughts on this one?
Yeah. This UTSA team has been one of those. They've been kind of hard to figure out this season. Like we've had a few of those this year that you just don't feel comfortable picking because you don't know which team is showing up. This East Carolina team is playing really good ball. They just beat somebody last week. Memphis. Yeah, they beat Memphis last week, and that was a surprise. They're currently tied in second place with two other teams in the American. I think they come in this one and win the game, and they're going to keep pace with Tulane and North Texas. And next week's going to be very interesting when it comes down to the final week of the season as to who gets that other nod for the the bowl. I mean for the conference championship game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that it's going to be interesting. So you're taking ECU?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I am too. I am too. I don't think there's much drama in this one. I think it'll be somewhat close, but I think ECU wins. All right. So, moving to the Sun Belt, the only game we have in the Sun Belt this week is USM headed to Mobile to play South Alabama. All right. Thoughts on this one, Quacker?
Yeah. So obviously Southern Miss did not play a good game last week. Had the scoreboard flipped on them, or at least it felt like it was. It started out. They've kind of relied on spark plays all year. It looked like they had gotten one. It gets called back. It was like a fumble that got called an incomplete pass, and it felt like they never recovered from that point. Penalties got in the way and all. I hopefully they would address it this week. 7-3, 5-1 in conference play. South Alabama's 3-7. They're 2-4 in conference play, but they're the favorite in this game by 1.5. I think Braden Braxton will be back in this game. He missed last week with a knee injury. It sounded like, excuse me, it sounded like he was practicing as far as when the press coach's press conference took place. So I think Southern Miss comes out and gets the win. I think they bounce back and lock up their spot in the conference championship game with this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take Southern in this one as well. All right, so moving along to the ACC. So this first game, and by the way, Florida State lost last night. Again, so they now will need to beat Florida at Florida to make a bowl game, which does make that game interesting, by the way.
It does.
For that reason. All right, so in the ACC, the first game is Louisville at SMU, and this game has juice for this reason. SMU is still within striking distance of the conference championship and the, obviously by extension, the playoff. They wouldn't be otherwise because they're 7-3, but because they're still well within the ACC race, it matters. This one is a noon kickoff. SMU is a 4.5 point favorite. Listen, I like Louisville in this game. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of think Louisville is gonna ruin their season.
Even with the backup quarterback starting, freshman quarterback starting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just have a weird feeling. I don't know if I'm gonna pick Louisville. This one feels weird, you know.
Mm-hmm. I would be more confident in Louisville if Miller Moss was playing, but the fact that he's out in unless emergency situation happens, you got a freshman quarterback making his first start. He's a redshirt freshman, but still making his first start on the road in a conference game that matters. Um, you know, Jennings is playing really well at quarterback this year. Second year quarterback. He's really comfortable in the system. I'm taking SMU in this one. I do think it's a close game until maybe late in the fourth quarter. Something weird happens, turnover that they take down and kind of expand score a little bit. But yeah, give me SMU in this one.
Yeah, I think you talked me into it. I mean, I have a weird feeling about the game, but I think I'm with you. I think SMU wins. All right. So in another interesting game, Georgia Tech can lock up their ACC appearance with this one here. They play Pittsburgh in Atlanta. Georgia Tech is only a 2.5 point favorite. Quacker, you and I both are fond of Pitt, and they're a good team this year. But I like the Yellow Jackets in this one.
Yeah, honestly, I do too. I would love to just confidently, say with my chips out, Pitt's winning this game. I just, Georgia Tech at home, they're going to be a hard team to beat. I think this is their. Let's see. No, this is not senior day because they have Georgia coming in next week. So, last conference game for Georgia Tech. Pitt can put themselves in prime position to play for the title with the win, but I just feel like Georgia Tech has been way more consistent throughout the season. They've only got one loss on the season. Give me Georgia Tech. But I do think this is going to be a good game. I'm not necessarily saying it's going to be a close game all the way through, but I do think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah. I'm with you. I've got Georgia winning this one as well. So, Georgia Tech. Sorry, Yellow Jackets. That's a big difference. Yeah. All right. So moving now to the SEC, just two games. Neither of which matter for much besides just team pride, but they Oklahoma has a little bit of skin left in the game. So number 22 Missouri is headed to Norman to play number 8 Oklahoma. That is a noon kickoff. Oklahoma's a 5.5 point favorite. Old Big 12 matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing all kinds of news about Pribula being upgraded or questionable and this and that. I think I'm going to take Oklahoma. And obviously this is not an official caveat because we're not going to caveat, but I just want it on the record. If Pribula actually plays, I might take Missouri in this game. Now, my official pick is Oklahoma. So that means even if Pribula starts and Missouri wins, I can't change my pick. My pick is Oklahoma. But I do want it on the record that if Pribula were to play, I think Missouri could win this
game. Missouri has leaned really heavily on the run game this year. They've got one of, if not the best running back in the country, in Ahmad Hardy, a Mississippi boy. I feel like against most teams that run game will make a difference, but this Oklahoma team has been pretty good against the run this year. I think Hardy can still have a couple big big plays, but I don't think they'll be enough to really make a difference in this game. I think Oklahoma wins, and I actually think they'll kind of win comfortably.
Okay.
A couple scores.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, we agree on that one. I mean, we definitely agree that Oklahoma wins. All right. So the last game, and to be honest, the only reason we're even talking about this game is because of the spread. But I want to contrast this. So the game we're about to talk about is number 20 Tennessee going to unranked Florida. Now, Tennessee is 7-3. Florida is 3-7. Tennessee is a 3.5 point favorite. That's it. 3.5 point favorite. And if you factor in, that Florida gets 2.5 for being at home, I mean, still less than a touchdown spread. So that game is at 7:30 on ABC, while the number 22 Missouri at number 8 Oklahoma game is at noon. Make it make sense. The only thing I can figure, well, more than that, these two teams did not get paired up in their permanents that start next year. This is the last year of their every year rivalry. They will play,
That's crazy.
Yeah, but this is the last one. So that it may be why they put that game in that slot. Is it's got a little extra juice. I can see one of two things happening. I could see Tennessee come in and just absolutely destroy Florida because Florida's not playing for anything anymore. They can't make a bowl. The best thing they can do is get to 5-7. But that 5-7 would come by way of beating two rivals at home in Gainesville. So I could see Florida just giving up, laying down on the season, and Tennessee winning by 50. Kind of similar to how Florida played against Kentucky. But I could also see Florida coming out with a lot of juice because this is the last rivalry game. The way they played against Ole Miss last week on the road, this being a night game in the swamp, I can't believe I'm going to do this because I don't trust this team very much. But I'm going to take Florida to win the game because even under their interim, they've had 3 games under the interim. 2 of them, they played really, 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 really good. And this one's at home. So, and this is the first game at home that the interim has had. He had a neutral site game and 2 road games. So, I don't know why I'm going to do this. I wasn't even planning on us talking about this game at all. But I'm going to take Florida to win for those factors. But if you want to call me crazy, I don't blame you.
No, I don't call you crazy on that. I mean, that's I think Florida comes out juice for this game, and they have the talent to beat Tennessee.
Well, that's the thing.
This
It's
is
it's just going to be whatever however they choose to play, right?
Yeah. I'm leaning Tennessee in this one, because they still have stuff to play for, right?
Well, they do, but they can't. All they can do is maybe get a slightly better bowl. But they also have Vandy next week. Like in a twist of fate, this could be a trap game for Tennessee as well. Think about that, Florida being a trap game before Vandy. But I mean, the reality is that's kind of where we're at in this season,
Yeah. If they win this one and beat Vandy, that puts them at 9 wins on the season. So if they win their bowl game, that's a 10-win season. So that's still something that they're probably shooting for. Is that double-digit win season? Obviously, this season didn't go quite like they wanted it to. But
I think that the media makes a lot out of getting to double digits, and I think maybe athletic directors might. I don't think players care about that at all. I think they care about winning individual matchups. And I think it's hard for a player, when they get to a certain part of the season, it's like, well, what are we playing for? They don't care if they get 10 wins. They might care if they get 10 wins at Vandy, because that's I don't know that that's ever happened. But at a place like Tennessee, I don't think going from 9 to 10 wins matter. these players, and I don't want to generalize, but so many of them are not team and institutional oriented like they used to be. They're personally oriented. So I think maybe in the 80s and the 90s you saw a lot of that, maybe even into the early 2000s, but guys very largely are not playing for their institution. They're playing for themselves. And I'm generalizing because obviously there are people who care about their institution on every team. I'm not saying there's not. But I would say by and large, the players that are making a difference, I would say it's, you're probably talking about less than 20% of them are really, really, really invested in the place that they're at more than they are in themselves. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I totally get it. So you're going to take Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get your reasoning. And to be honest with you, I think there's a real good chance that Tennessee comes out and just blows the doors off of Florida. I just feel like with it being primetime in Gainesville, this is the last of a 30-plus year rivalry, okay? And with that, by the way, this century, Florida has absolutely dominated. So I guess there's that. Tennessee could be thinking, all right, well, let's end this, with an exclamation. Because Florida, I think, has only lost, 3 times since 2005 to Tennessee or something like that. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's not a lot, and they play every year. So I should take Tennessee. I'm not going to change my pick. I'm going to stick with Florida, but we'll see. So, all right. So that's all we've got today. Lighter week. Quacker and I haven't talked about this, but obviously with next week being Thanksgiving, things are going to be crazy. So just be patient with us in terms of when we can record, how we do it. There might be some solo episodes. There might be some episodes at really weird times. But we'll get it out to you as we can, and then obviously should be back to fairly normal schedule for the conference championship week. So, any final thoughts?
Nah, I'm looking forward to the day of football. I mean, we've only got a couple weeks left. It's how did we get here so fast?
Yep.
Golly, it seems like we just started. The season. It's here almost over. So
yeah. And I also think it's weird, too, even though we've had a few cold snaps, this has been largely warmer basically the whole football season, which is unusual. And so it doesn't feel like we should be at this point, But anyway, all right, so where can people find the show?
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. With the Alumni House Podcast, and you can find us on X at Alumni House Pod.
And you can find our personal Twitters just below our faces. As always, thank you guys for joining us. Hope everyone has an excellent Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time.